What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Diffusion, and I'm a cinematographer and photographer based in Memphis, Tennessee. In this video, we're going to discuss how I filmed the opening sequence with only one light. So this is going to be a video for those of you who may be early in your career and you maybe can only afford one light at this point, or for those of you that have been doing this for a while and you're looking for a more efficient way of doing things. So for starters, this was filmed with the Sony a7S III and the Sony 55mm 1.8, which just so happens to be my favorite lens lately. I really love the look that it gives. And the one light that we did use is the Amaran 200D. I think this light runs around $350 right now. All right, so in this sequence, I'm going to be acting morning scene, newspaper, reading the newspaper. Just got the newspaper from the driveway, I guess, I suppose. Coffee, maybe 4 or 5 shots. The plan is to get a wide shot from that angle over there. Me walking into the scene. Then, of course, setting the newspaper down, setting the coffee cup down, pick up the newspaper, cut to a tight shot behind the newspaper, in front of the newspaper this way. Me lowering the newspaper, picking up the coffee. Last shot would be me lowering the coffee and pulling out from a medium type of angle. Let's see how that works. That's what's in my head right now. Yeah. The look that I was going for in this scene is supposed to be early morning with the sun coming through the windows, but the problem is we filmed this in the middle of the day and the sun was directly over the house. I mean, I could have waited until the sun set it a little bit more because I think the sun comes through that window in the evening time, but where's the fun in that? So this is what the room looks like with just natural light. We opened that window to the right of the frame to let that natural light come in. And as you can see, the room is kind of flat. It has no texture. It has no levels really outside of the wide aperture that we're using. Other than that, the room is very, very flat lighting wise. So in order to add more texture to this room, I grabbed that one light and I shined it directly through the window. I used just the standard reflector that it comes with, and I put it on a light stand and I angled it down towards the room as if the sun was coming through the window. So with that, it created those streaks on the walls from the blinds that you're now seeing in the frame. So for this first frame, that is all that I did. I wanted to set the tone. When you look at this first frame, you kind of know that it's morning time. We have the light rays shining on the window. We have the talent coming through with the newspaper and the coffee. And we did a little digital zoom and post, added some ambience, added some morning sounds, and there we have the morning frame. So in this next frame, I knew I wanted to be a lot closer, and I knew I wanted the light on the subject to be a lot softer than it was in the previous frame. So I had to bring in another piece of gear, which is a 5-in-1 reflector. I used the diffusion piece that's located inside of the middle just to soften that light just a little bit more. There we go. So here you can see what it looks like without that diffusion, and then when we add that diffusion. Now adding that diffusion is going to take away some of the power of the light. So in this instance, I did have to raise my light's power up by about 10%. One thing to be mindful of when you're using a diffusion piece or diffusion fabric is that depending on the type of diffusion that you're using, it can leave a shadow on the wall. So just be mindful to pay attention to your framing and pay attention to the objects that you're adding to that frame. So for this last frame, I kept everything in the exact same spot except for the camera. The lighting and the diffusion piece is still in the exact same spot that it was in the previous frame. One quick tip, if you're filming yourself, a lot of times you have to do these things twice. As far as the motion goes, I had to do it 3 or 4 times in order to make sure that it was going to be seamless in the edit. So outside of that, the light in this scene is pretty consistent based on what we have, especially with it only being one light. You can do a lot with just one light. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.